Dear friends, so this painting I considered to be done, but I think I want to put some glazes on it, maybe on the streets, maybe just to give it some differentiation between this street and that, and then where the light of the moon falls and stuff, like just give it a little more contrast. So I got these two colors. This is some kind of a purple, as you can see. I can't even tell what color it is. This is some kind of a blue. Again, both of these tubes are very, very, very used up. These are the colors. That's the blue, that's the purple. It might be, rather than blue, it might be something like turquoise. We're gonna turquoise. So to see what these colors are, I mean, to see how they're gonna, to get a better idea, because they're both dark, so you can't really tell much about their character. So I'm gonna just mix them with a little bit of white so that we can see what sort of color it is. I think I'm gonna have to use another brush for the other one. Yeah, so that's kind of a turquoise, so it's a greenish tone. It's almost green. It's more green than it is blue, but I mean it's blue. So these, I think both of these tones are very nice. So let me try to, now that I know what they are, let me try to do some glazing. I wonder if I can glaze, for example, I don't know if I should glaze the trees. I want to glaze the streets, so let me start with glazing, say, this frontal street, this one purple. It will make the dog stand out more, and it's gonna sort of block off the bottom a little bit, give it more focus into the center, because you technically want to keep the focus more in the center of the painting. So here we go. This is pure Damar varnish. Let's see what happens. I mean, this, we also don't know how transparent these colors are. So that purple came out quite a bit darker than I expected, but it's not really a problem. Nothing in oil painting is a problem. It's just I mean, there's a solution to every problem, and usually once that solution is implemented, the result is better than if it never had the problem in the first place. It's kind of like, if I can, if I can create a problem and fix it, it's better than never having had the problem in the first place. At least this is how it is in oil painting. It might not be true in life necessarily, but that's how it is in oil painting. Because that problem and that solution gives you character, it gives it character, and character is what differentiates a good painting from a great one. If I thought that this, I don't think this is too dark, but if I thought it was too dark, I would take a rag and just wipe some of it down. And anyway, doing that is kind of nice because it gives it variation. We don't really want it to be all the same darkness, all the same tone throughout, so this gives it some variation. Now, there's a kind of weird green line here under the buildings. I can't really say that I like that line. I don't see any particular reason why it should be there. So I'm gonna get rid of it. This is a kind of thing, like that green line is like something that you don't pay attention to necessarily when you just casually look at the painting, but then if you do pay attention to it, then you realize it's not supposed to be there. And why is it there? Probably because I left the space between the houses and the sidewalk. Like there was probably like a white space or something, and I just used some kind of a color to fill it in. But I don't think the choice of that green is necessarily the color that this painting needed. So now that I did that, let me see, I ran out of. I think I like it because I darkened it a little bit. I think it was a little too bright. Now I want to darken it a little bit over here too. On this side, at least where it's far away from the moon. And I think that's gonna making that darker makes the building pop. And I think it just just darks and lights are just good. It's just a good thing. So if the painting is lacking a little bit of contrast, I mean, I think it's got all the lights it needs for a night painting. So basically my job is to darken. Yeah. Can darken this also. It's nice to use glazes because you can just go on top of whatever you painted and boom, suddenly it's in the shadow. I think putting some stuff into the shadow, I think it's a good idea. We can darken some of these clouds. And if you think that shadow is too much, I mean, again, get a rag. Like I can just wipe it down on one side. And there's a reflection, so it doesn't. Yeah, so I think that's better. Again, I'll just do a few wipes here and there. Let's see. Now the sky, I darkened the bottom. I think the sky can also be darkened. The top, just to bring the focus of the painting into the middle ground. So far I've been using just the purple. Haven't had a reason to use the turquoise. And typically I want to finish with a color before I go into another color. Like it's nice to just be done with the one color. So again, you might think it's a little too dark. I mean, I'm not sure that it is. But again, it's nothing that a rag is not gonna be able to fix. I think I like the added darkness, and sort of added a little bit of added texture. I mean, so it's not just such a clear blue sky. I mean, it's a little bit too blue, I think, for a nighttime painting. Like that area. And it's not. I mean, it's not completely blue, but a little bit of extra sort of variation isn't gonna hurt it, that's for sure. And I think, let's see, yeah, I think that was a good call, because we want to keep the focus in the middle of the painting, not take it out of the painting. This is, if the sky is too light, it takes your eye out of the painting. You know, the lighter parts of the painting tend to attract your eye. So that's why we're gonna sort of darken the sides. Even that little house right there, just darken it just a little bit. And so I'm saying, adding this extra layer of, you know, in this case it's purple, it could be any color, it doesn't matter what color it is, but it just adds that a little bit of extra complexity that makes it better. And it also unifies the picture. Like you see, I'm just putting, I don't mind putting that purple very lightly on the parroquia itself. See how it made the parroquia. Oh, I mean, this phone doesn't completely register the colors, but I think that purple in the parroquia just makes it so much better. And yeah, even it doesn't matter, you know, that the parroquia is orange and this is purple. That doesn't matter that this building is kind of greenish. I can still glaze it purple, it doesn't matter. And especially I want to glaze the door, because all these doors are equally almost the same color. I don't want it to be the same color. Right. So if there are two houses, you know, two houses next to each other of the same color, a little bit of glazing will take care of that problem. Right. I think that's good. So I mean, I do have a before picture, so I'll take a picture of this tomorrow, and I'll have a before and after picture. So this is having been glazed purple, and I think it's really cool, but we could at this point add a little bit of highlight, because I darkened it and I think that it was balanced before. What I mean balanced, I mean the darks and the lights were the way, I mean, in harmony. And if I darkened it, I also probably need to lighten it now to kind of get back to the same harmony. So let's see. I just have to figure out where these sort of highlights are gonna go. Like that. I think I can do a little bit of highlighting around the moon. I like that. It's a kind of green, and then there's on the purple. It's quite nice. And then that moon should give kind of like highlights on the clouds. And I think there's a couple of these, I can lighten a couple of these windows. Yeah, I think it's already looking better. Like, man, I think you can tell. It's subtle, you know. These are subtle details, but that's what makes a work of art great. Basically, when the artist goes that, you go the extra step. I mean, you can make it decorative or whatever. You can make it attractive, and a lot of the artwork these days basically stops at that. Just like, yeah, it's attractive, it's decorative, like, move on to the next one, sort of sell, move on. But I mean, if you're on that, if you've got the mindset of sales and just like how quickly you can move stuff, you're not gonna really take too much time fine-tuning these details, because it doesn't make sense, because you just gotta move it forward. So you're not gonna, I think with that kind of mindset, you're also not gonna necessarily do a very complex composition, because the simpler you keep it, the quicker you can finish it and just go on with it. But that's not my it's not my focus necessarily just to sell it. I mean, I do think that, if a picture sells, it does sort of justify the picture. It means, like, somebody liked it enough to buy it, and so it does kind of justify your effort and make you think, I guess it was a good image. I guess I did a good job. In the case of famous artists, or like pop artists, or people who have been promoted by their agents and are sort of the superstars of art, doesn't matter what they paint, they'll sell it. So at that point, you don't necessarily, like, a sale doesn't necessarily mean that the picture is good. It just means, you've become a name, a brand. But when you haven't become a brand yet, then selling pictures does kind of mean something. It means that somebody has connected with it enough to spend money on it. Basically, that's what it means. Yeah, I think I like it better than I did before I started. Hopefully, because otherwise this would have been a waste of time. What I want to do is find some orange. I got a little bit of orange. I just want to do a little tiny touch up on the Perugia, and I think that will probably be enough for this particular work. Let's see. As I did, darken the Perugia with the purple. So now I kind of feel like can also lighten it. And San Miguel Parroquia is always it's always sort of shiny and lit up, and I think some of these oranges in some of the windows will be good. Yeah, so now there's a sort of a rhythm going. You see all these houses going around? This kind of a rhythm. The only thing is kind of... I don't know, I'm thinking... thinking that I might want to have a car there. I don't know, because there's all this central circle, and there's nothing in that circle, so I don't know if it needs something, a vehicle, like some kind of a thing. I don't know. It probably doesn't need it. So let's say I was gonna draw in a car. It's too difficult for me to draw a car with one hand holding a phone. I just can't do it. So let's say I messed that up. This is the beauty of oil paint. There, as if I never did it in the first place. Done. It's never, no car, nothing was ever there. I kind of feel, I kind of like that. I kind of think that maybe a few touches of this yellow orange, whatever, over there would be good. I don't know. But then again, highlighting should have, a reason. And there's nothing there that warrants highlighting. Anyway, I think that's about it. I think what I might do is take some of this yellow, mix it with some of this turquoise, and just dab some of these trees. Technically, since they say yellow is sort of psychologically seems to be closer than, say, blue or green. The closest trees should be most yellow. And here we go. We can see the paint is kind of dripping. So I think I want to have the most yellow in the trees that are closest to me. And the pine tree, we're gonna not do yellow, we're just gonna do and then those further trees I can just do straight turquoise overlay. There we go. And see that it's questionable whether that's too dark or not. But if it is too dark, and say if this is too dark, we can always use the rag. Right. And I think we might just call it a day at that. Oh, what is that? So that's, you know, this is what I call, um, this is what I call like, I mean, this is what happens when a painting that I consider to be good or whatever, it just sits around in the studio and nobody buys it. This is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna work on it more, and I'm gonna see if there's something I can do to make it better. If there's, you know, it makes me think, you know, maybe the painting's not good enough. Maybe it's not finished. Because if it was finished, then you know, it should be bought by somebody. You know, that's my way of thinking. Like a finished painting shouldn't be sitting around. So that's why these kind of reworks happen. And again, the light now is not so great, so I'll have to check this out tomorrow in better light and see. But I think I'm relatively certain that it's better than it was. I think it's got a lot more color, it's got more contrast, and I haven't done much. I just used basically, you know, well, apart from the few spots of yellow and yellow orange, it's just purple mostly, and you know, a little bit of that turquoise. But I think it makes a lot of difference. And yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. Let's call it a day. Let's call this done, and I'll take a picture of it tomorrow.